Hello, Jackson. I'm your host, Max Fritz, and today I'm coming to you live from the middle of the 1860s during one of the greatest turmoils in American history, the American Civil War. Today, it is faithfully recreated here at Cascades Park for everyone to enjoy and learn about history. We're going to talk to a lot of historians, actors, and all, of course, the food vendors here, bringing to you the authentic time of American Civil War and all the turmoils, triumphs, and tragedies that came along with it. So join us, please, as we take you along the journey. I'm here with Judy Ginton and Linda Haas of the Jackson, Michigan Historical Society. Ladies, thank you so much for being here today. Obviously, this is a huge event for the Jackson Historical Society as we are celebrating history here in Jackson. Could you please talk a little bit about the muster and what it maybe means to the community as a whole?
I would be glad to. The muster was an annual event that kind of lapsed for a little bit, but our president, Maurice Emhoff, revived it, and over the last several years, it has grown in interest. We had, I think, 16,000 people last year. We're expected to have even more this year on this beautiful weekend. We draw in people from around Michigan and from other states. It's an opportunity to celebrate history, not just learn about it, but to immerse yourself in it so that you feel like you're walking into history. And our displays and demonstrations are geared to provide that unique experience for people that participate in this.
And the immersion, like you mentioned, is such a big part. I look around, I see so many men and women in period-accurate clothing, period-accurate slang even. And Judy, could you talk a little bit about maybe the Historical Society's role in this? Do you help provide information for people so they can be more up to speed on how to act period for this event? Or what do you guys do to help out the community here?
Well, actually, we've been around for 14 years now. We started about in 2020, I believe, and Maurice Emhoff is our president, and he's the one that has put this all together. And as a historical society, we do a lot of brochures and pamphlets about different things. We have one over there on Camp Blair, the Poor Farm, and we put historical markers around the community. And I don't know that we do an awful lot for the muster, but Linda was a speaker this morning, but we promote it.
Well, and that's the biggest thing, is promoting it, and especially those historical markers. So many people may not realize the history of Jackson, how much it played a part in the war and post-war.
And if I may, we actually have two historical markers that celebrate the Civil War, in particular Camp Jackson, which is at the True Community Credit Union right now, and also one for Camp Blair, which is the Michigan Military Heritage Museum, occupies that spot now. But they give you the fascinating history of Jackson's important role in the Civil War, what happened on that property, and how they contributed to it.
I'm now here with Jay Ford of the 1st Michigan Infantry, Company B. Jay, talk to us a little bit about why you are here, about the battle, and of course what you have going on here at this table.
Okay, the 1st Michigan Infantry, Company B, was formed at the beginning of the Civil War here in Jackson, and we were reformed as the Jackson Grays, which was their company name, and that was a military unit that had already been formed here 5 years before the Civil War. Militia unit, not military, but so when the war started, then Captain Withington stood up with everybody on the second floor of JTV, and they all pledged to fight the battle. So they went to battle, and after the Battle of Bull Run, Captain Withington was captured. He spent time in prison in Charleston. When he was released and returned, he then went and became the 17th Michigan's colonel. And then he fought as long as he could, and then he was breveted out, and he became a general. The 1st Michigan, this monument was dedicated by General Colonel Withington to the 1st Michigan and the 17th Michigan. This year was the 120th anniversary of the dedication of that unit, and we have been formed to provide a foundation, a trust, so that this monument is restored back to its pristine luster, which the city now has actually given us night lighting, so that now when you drive by it, you can see it clearly at night. It's really nice. You need to drive by it now.
For those that may not know where the monument is located in Jackson, where is it at so they can drive by to pay homage?
It's at Withington Park, which is basically Michigan Avenue and First, right at the corner there. You can drive around it, coming Michigan or First, and just circle around and see it. Get out and take a look at it. It's very impressive.
I have now again traveled back in time, and I am standing with the 16th President of the United States, the very tall Mr. Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln, I know this is very newfangled. As you said, you're used to the JTG, the Jackson Telegraph Company. We're the evolution of that. Can you speak to maybe just how important it is being here at a great conflict like the Civil War and what it means to the nation?
Well, of course, back in my time, it was a very difficult time. A question of whether our nation could even continue as it had been founded, one united nation. And so the events of my time were very important to the history of our country. So I believe it's important for people in later times to understand our conflict and what it meant to our nation's history.
Talk to us a little about the implications and long lastings of your time in office.
Yes, well, of course, last I know, which is April 14th, 1865, the conflict's not quite over. But we've had the beginning of the end, because on April 9th, Palm Sunday, General Lee surrendered to General Grant. So if things go as we expect, the Civil War will end shortly, probably in the next couple of months. After that, it's time to put the country back together again. So I'm hoping that some lessons might be learned from our conflict. For example, the importance of being a united nation, all committed to the ideals of liberty and equality, for example. I talked about that in my little speech at Gettysburg, you might remember.
Yes, just a little speech.
Just a little speech, a few appropriate remarks.
Building a new home is one of the biggest decisions you will ever make, and with the help of our qualified salespeople, licensed builder, and our own construction crew, we are positive that we can make your new home project easy and affordable. Call us to design your home today. Midstar Home Builders, there's no place like home.
At Highfields, we provide an array of strength-based, evidence-based practices and services that help strengthen families and keep them together.
Highfields has an array of services, all designed to meet the child and family at the earliest point of need.
Highfields stabilizes, strengthens, empowers, and educates families to move to a better level of success.
Kentwood Office Furniture wants to help your business get that wow factor with systems designed specifically for today's modern business environment. Our design process maximizes workflow, helping you do what you do better. We're locally owned and operated and take pride in our ability to serve companies of all sizes. Call Kentwood Office Furniture today and find out how Kentwood can save you money on your next office furniture purchase. Kentwood Office Furniture.
Do you want to make a lasting, positive impact in Jackson County? A fund at the Jackson Community Foundation creates a legacy in your name or in memory of a loved one to support the causes most important to you. Go to www.jacksoncf.org today and start your legacy.
At Jackson Public Schools, our mission is to bring the community together and create a culture of academic excellence and workforce readiness. Middle School at Parkside offers your young learner the opportunity to thrive in state-of-the-art facilities with 21st century furniture and technology. Your student will acquire the essential academic skills needed for success. Plus, with dozens of clubs, interscholastic sports, and more, every child has the opportunity to forge their unique pathway. Explore it all at jpsk12.org. Jackson Public Schools, where community comes together.
I'm now here with Maurice Imhoff, the president of the Jackson County Historical Society. Maurice, this is such an amazing event you have going on here today. Talk a little bit about maybe the preparation. How much goes into getting an event like this?
Sure. Well, it definitely takes a lot of work. We start planning right away, so as soon as the event's done, it's already talking about next year. Reason being is we have reenactors from all across the country. We have over 550, almost 600 living historians here coming from all over, and they have their own schedules. But we work with our incredible sponsors such as Trips Auto Shop, the Parks Department, and such. So it's a lot of organizing that goes into it. This is not your normal festival, right? This is all historical. You have to find the right people with that supplies and such, so a lot goes into the planning. It keeps me busy, I can tell you that much.
It is truly amazing, and then to coordinate a battle like this and the camp that we're standing in right now, and all period accurate. Right. I'm sure it is such a challenge to coordinate all that, just like you mentioned. Sure. And Maurice, I have to ask, it is such a honor and so cool that someone, our age is the president of a historical society. What got you involved in history at such a young age?
Yeah, so my late grandfather was a big history buff. I actually would come to this event back in 2014 with him, and I got involved here as a reenactor, and as I got through it, gained my passion. The first year was all about the battles, and the second year I gained a passion for the history. And when this event went away, it was a big disappointment to the community, not just the Jackson community, but to the living history. Out here, we're a family. Yes. These are your friends, these are your comrades, these are people, we all travel across the country, even around the state, and you see you're camping with people, you see they're camping, these are all friends and family. So we come together and we work together, and that has helped me to be able to work to bring this event back to the community. We bring history to life here, not at the museum if we're talking about children, right? We bring history to life, and that gets people excited. We have a children's drill. We saw 90 kids all lined up, getting involved, excited about history. And the history is important because if we don't remember our history, we will forget that and it'll be lost. And unfortunately, that can have long-term consequences. We must learn our history, we must gain from it and benefit. Even talking about, like our African-American troops that served during the Civil War, our women who contributed a lot during the front. Think about even Jackson. We're talking about women, right? They had the Women's Soldiers Aid Society where they were sending supplies to Camp Jackson. in the newspaper saying, we need food, we need blankets, go support these soldiers who are going to fight for bravery and freedom in our nation. And Camp Jackson was actually located at the corner of Clinton and Lansing Avenue, where True Community Headquarters is. You would have saw tents like these, all filled through there. This is where you get to see that in real life and what that would have looked like. Touch, feel, smell. That's what make this event unique.
I'm now here with Bill George, one of the Army surgeons here at the battle. Bill, could you talk to us a little bit about your role and what goes on when an injured soldier comes off the field in need of medical services?
What I would be doing is we would first have them evaluated by the junior surgeon, who would be looking at the wound to determine whether or not the wound would be mortal. If it appeared that the patient was going to die, they would be given more laudanum or morphine and allowed to pass. If, on the other hand, it was a minor wound, they would be patched up and sent back to the firing line. If it was felt, however, that surgery would be necessary, they would be placed in an ambulance and sent back to a surgeon such as myself, who would then evaluate the patient to determine if an amputation would then be appropriate.
I'm now here with Will Eichler of History Fix. And Will, you have a very unique position here at this reenactment. You've mentioned you have done field command before, but you really want to talk about the behind the scenes on most of the battles, the stuff that may not be talked too much about in textbooks or fantasized about in movies. The behind the scenes campfire, when the troops come back off the field, tired and weary, sit down by the fire and just recollect. What can you tell us about that experience of a Civil War soldier?
And you talk about it. It's not the glamorous stuff. It's not the stuff we read in the books, but it's the everyday thing. They talk about the Army being hours and hours and days of sheer boredom surrounding moments of terror. We read a lot about those moments of terror. What are those hours of sheer boredom? What was it like to march 20 miles in shoes that are worse than this, carrying a 10-pound firearm? You think, okay, 10 pounds, no big deal. Then you carry it for 3 hours and you understand. You look at what the ration is. What is salt pork? And okay, if this is so horrifically salty, how do I make something I can eat out of it?
Very true. And, just as we're seeing today, it's a great day for a reenactment because it is so warm and hot out. During the Civil War, many days were so humid and muggy, and these men and boys are wearing wool uniforms, sometimes no shoes, very heavy caps, 10 pounds of equipment, if not more, and then having to lug all that around and march tens of thousands of miles sometimes.
Yeah, sure. And as what does it take to exist? We read the other things. What I like about living history is this is a chance to explore for myself, having been on the campaign side of things, what it is when they give you exactly what the fellow would have had for food, and okay, how do I deal with it? I take coffee beans. Okay, how do I get that from coffee beans to the coffee we expect to survive? How do I take that brick of a piece of hardtack, break it up, and what happens, and how do we turn that into food? And you can learn that here as a living historian. For you as the public you represent, you can come out here and see that. And it's one thing to read it in a book. It's another thing to smell the smells, to hear the sounds, to actually stand there and look. And we get asked all the time, is that fire hot? It's the same as any other fire. But people are looking for a way to ask a question, and sometimes it's the easiest first thing they can ask. I don't discount it because it starts the conversation.
JTV and Orthopedic Rehab Specialists are proud to bring you the ORS Photo Galleries. JTV is out in the community every week shooting full HD images of local events, festivals, high school sports, and more. Go to jtv.tv for the ORS Photo Galleries to view or purchase prints of your favorite events, sports, and catch all the action in Jackson.
Serving the greater Jackson area for over 25 years, Tamrocks Automotive knows that your life does not come to a halt because of a concern with your vehicle. Our mission is to provide extraordinary service for every customer, every time. We offer pickup and drop-off service, free loaner vehicles, free car wash, and a 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on most repairs. And yes, your vehicle will be diagnosed on the same day of your appointment. Our extensive health and safety inspections, our professional technicians, and state-of-the-art technology will ensure that you know the current condition of your vehicle. You can make an informed decision on the repairs made to your car or truck. When your ride is at a standstill, but your life is not, take it to Tamrocks. Automotive repair you can count on. The Blue Julep, located in downtown Jackson, is everybody's favorite place to go for handcrafted from scratch desserts for every occasion, such as specialty cakes, custom cookies, and unique dessert buffets. But did you know they offer daily treats as well? Like a large variety of cupcakes, cookies, and more. No pre-orders necessary. Simply walk in, pick out what you want, and leave happy. And be sure to check us out on DoorDash. The Blue Julep, a specialty dessert company with everyday great treats waiting for you.
Ogma Brewing Company is the new downtown chill spot with thoughtful beer and killer food. Ogma Brewing Company in downtown Jackson.
The Potter Center at Jackson College is raising the curtain on the 2024-2025 season. Join us for a night of 70s and 80s rock with Ambrosia, John Ford Coley, and Peter Beckett. Country music superstar Jody Messina. The legendary Commodores bring their chart-topping hits. Ring in the holidays with Christmases in the air. And enjoy Motown classics with Get Ready, the Motown Tribute. Individual and season tickets on sale now. Go online or call the Potter Center ticket office today.
I'm now here with Tara Lynn Lesko of History Fix. And Tara Lynn, you have a very important role here to tell about the women's side of history. Because so many times, unfortunately, it's overlooked in history, reading about the Civil War. We focus all about the men and boys in battle. But so much important things went on with the women, with the support and the morale boost that they gave and that they provided. Could you talk a little bit about the women's role in the Civil War?
So women played a lot of times a very crucial role. They would either knit things to send to their loved ones. They would help send care packages. They would care for soldiers in their homes. You see a lot of stories of nurses and sisters and mothers who would just take in these wounded soldiers, and their hearts would break when these poor soldiers would pass on. So being a historian for 33 years and coming to this event for years now, I've quite literally grown up here. So I've done the playing, the making, I've done a spy impression, and now I'm coming to give more history back. So seeing how all of this comes together, it's a really full circle picture, because if you look at it even just going from Civil War and beyond, it's just like in World War II. We go and we help where we can, because without us, things they don't go on. Women would help in the farms, and they had no choice. They had to pick up the slack. So really, without women, a lot of these wars just wouldn't have lasted.
And unfortunately, that concludes our time here at the Jackson Civil War Muster. We want to thank everyone so much for watching and tuning in to JTV. This was such an amazing experience, really bringing history to life for the next generation and everyone to see and watch, and we hope that all of you can come out here next year to witness this amazing history in action and support the Jackson Historical Society. I am your host, Max Fritz. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day, Jackson.